Hey, good morning. Welcome back to the off ramp. I am Thomas Jason Anderson. I hope you guys have a really good start to your day today. It's important that we all get on the same page here because things are moving fast in the world. Very fast. Um, a few years ago, before the 2020 election, even going back to the 2016 election with the Mueller investigation and whatnot, um, America, especially in the media space, came into something that we had never seen before. And that was dark money coming from Russian interests into our media space to finance different TV shows, different social media platforms. And a lot of these talents didn't even know that it was the Russians who were supplying them money for their platforms. And so what that caused was a crazy situation here in the United States where we had people in the media space looking like people wondering what was wrong with them. How do they go pro-American to anti-American so fast? Like, where is the change coming from? Right. And if you guys think back, there were people who kind of changed their entire platforms almost uh, back when Trump first got elected and the Mueller thing was coming out and everything else. So the Russian money influence was a big deal, and a lot of what we're seeing today in the collapse in the media space is that Russian influence sector of the media space collapsing because of the Ukraine war. Because Putin went in on that special mission, whatever it's called, that they did. And that caused people who were basically on the Russian payroll to either be cut out or be in very bad situations where they could be blackmailed, et cetera, et cetera. And so all of this is a function of hybrid warfare. And our governments don't talk about it. The media doesn't talk about it. No one talks about it because we've already been in the United States infiltrated on a base level by several nations around the world, especially in the media space. And so when you see people out here with platforms that are very successful, trust me when I tell you, it's foreign money. It's foreign money. When you're looking in the journalism space, one of the things I experienced, okay, is I never took money from Russians. I never took money from the Chinese. So because of that, I have very few options in the media space. There are people who I've worked with for years who I can't work with now because they're on the payroll of the Chinese. They're on the payroll of the Russians. Right now, this isn't public knowledge, but I can tell after working with people and being in the media space, yes, there are so many people taking money from foreign interests in our media space that it's left us totally exposed, where we've got basically a deep ocean of disinformation. And there are very few voices out there who are cutting through it. I'm one of them with the off ramp. I'm one of the few, but almost everyone else is on some type of payroll, and it links back to either Russia or China 9 times out of 10. And so that's the problem with hybrid warfare, that it isn't tanks on a battlefield. It isn't even just drones. It's psychological, it's in society, it's economic, and now it's about to be kinetic again. So we had the hybrid warfare going with Putin and the Russians, and that led to the special, attack mission the Russians did on Ukraine, which created a war that we're in now, which created a lot of shakeup in the media space. And we saw that. And why? Because Russia went kinetic. In the hybrid warfare scenario, you've got different aspects. One of them is kinetic. That's the tanks and the bombs, right? But that's usually like the last one they're using. Okay, so now we're back to the future. We're present day, okay, and we're seeing this happen all over again, where the hybrid warfare sectors that we've been in dealing with China now have all been fought over. It's depleted. We're getting to the point now where it's about to get kinetic between us and China, one way or the other. Whether it's Taiwan, who knows? But it's about to get kinetic. Okay. And kinetic means we're about to start seeing bombs, planes, ships, you name it, tanks, drones. It's about to get kinetic between us and the Chinese. And so, because of that, there is now a huge challenge in the media space in America today. As you can see, people who support China, like Tucker Carlson and the crew, right? They are out there saying it's Israel versus the Iranians, and it's the Israel and the Jews who are causing all the problems in the world. They will never mention China because they're somehow, some way on the payroll of China. That's how hybrid warfare works. The Chinese came in years ago and they picked out the people in the media space that they wanted to pay and they wanted to have promote their agenda. And so when they looked around, they saw someone like Tucker Carlson and they go, that's a good investment. Why? Because if you're a Chinese person and you're looking at America and you're thinking about Americans the way they do, you're thinking, okay, they're greedy, they're selfish, they're stupid, they're lazy. This is what they think of all Americans across the board, right? Make it even worse if you're a black American, especially a black man. Oh, you're barely above a monkey to Chinese people, especially to the Chinese who are abroad dealing with us here in America, the ones who think they're really smart and so strong, powerful. And so they look at a guy like Tucker and they see he's a white guy. They see that he's independently wealthy. They see that he checks off all of the boxes for Americana, for what a white guy should be in America. And so from their perspective, what better guy to promote what they want the world to look like than Tucker Carlson? What you won't see is them coming to a guy like me, because how am I going to promote their worldview? I'm a black guy. From their perspective, I'm just here to be eaten like dog meat. That's just the truth. It doesn't matter how smart I am. It doesn't matter how accomplished I am. This is how they roll when it comes to Americans. Now, they may like Africans. I don't know. I don't think so. They have problems out there in Africa. But I'm just saying, I've noticed in this media space, black men are typically shunned by the Chinese, unless you're gay. And in the media space, they really go after the white guys like Tucker Carlson, and they like black women too. So I've been watching China slowly but surely. You'll see they will pay for all expense paid trips for different people in the media space to go out to China and have a good time or go vacation here or there, go to France, whatever it is. They take care of their media people, but they're very targeted, and I think it's based on. It's based on their view of the world and Americans, which is a very grim view. And so now we have this problem now where we've got people like Tucker Carlson and a slew of others in our media space who it's their job to make sure that the public hears the story of the news the way that the Chinese want the public to hear the story of the news. All right. Same thing's happening in Guyana and the Caribbean. In Guyana, all the pressure is for the media coverage to portray everything through the Chinese lens, not through the American lens. All right. And so now we come up to this kinetic point where there looks like there's going to be real fighting between us and China. Some way, somehow, our allies, Japan and China, there's going to be real fighting. And when that happens, all these stupid games that have been played in our media space by China with people like Tucker Carlson and these guys, it's going to blow up in their face the same way the stuff blew up in their faces with the Russia stuff. Except this time it's going to be worse because they're not going to have anywhere to go. The people in our media space now who are on the Chinese payroll, there's nowhere to go. Can't go to the Russians. Where are they going to go? The North Koreans, the Iranians just got blown up. Can't go to them. And so that's where we're at now. We're in a space now, and this is what the off ramp is for, to let you know what we're going to see on social media and regular media is total chaos. Nothing is going to make sense. You will just one day that we are fighting with China all of a sudden, out of the blue, and you'll see Tucker Carlson and all these other people who are. I don't think he knows he's on the Chinese payroll. It's like this guy, Tim Pool. He didn't know that he was on the Russians' payroll. And I believe him when he says it. They're slick with how they pay people. All right, they're slick. And so I don't know. I don't think he knows. But if Tucker wants that money to keep coming, he's going to have to portray things the way China wants it portrayed. This is the bottom line. So now we're all in a spot, whether we like it or not, where we have to pick a side. Are we on China's side or are we on America's side? Is the question. Now, I know many people want to be on China's side. I get it because you hate America. I understand. I have my issues with America myself, being a citizen. I do. But with that said, I've also experienced the Chinese way. And I'm sorry, but the communist idea of basically there's no spirit world. There's none of that. Everything has to be on a piece of paper or on a computer screen. And if it's not math and if it doesn't add up, then it ain't real. This is the communist way. Communism, there's no such thing as spirit world. There's no such thing as religion. There's no such thing as Yahshua. There's no such thing as God. China is a godless empire. They don't have a God. For them, when they die, they just die. When they live this life here, it's just here. There's no spiritual value to it. There's no depth to it. It's just some money, some trinkets, run around and do some shit. This is the communism. This is communism. This is what communists believe is the way to live properly as a human on earth, is to be totally devoid of any type of spiritual awareness, totally devoid of that, totally devoid of any knowledge of God. They go around destroying books, any kind of books on God or a higher existence, higher than our physical plane existence. They destroy, unless there's some way to make money in it. But that's the bottom line to their culture. That's the bottom line to their government. Now they can say, oh, we're not communists. They are. The problem is they've been beaten into submission mentally. It's also a nation of mental slaves. They all have to think the way they're told to think from the day they're born. Period. So you're dealing with a society that at its core being spirit, having no connection to God or any type of higher entity. They have no imagination for it. They don't want it. They kill people who try to talk about spirit or God. They want none of that. It's for them, it's the Communist Party that is the entire universe for all of the people in China. That's just the way it goes. And so I don't want their money. I don't want that in my life. I actually care about God. I believe in God. I believe in Jesus, Yahshua. I do with all of my heart. And that's how I live my life. But for the Chinese, that is unacceptable. You have to put the CCP above God himself. These people this is an evil government. It's the bottom line. So people can debate all they want, but we're talking evil here. We're talking about a government that has made it law on earth that their documents, their government order is higher than God. This is what they have sworn an oath to. This is what they live by. And so they can talk all they want about money and oil, and they're so smart. They're engineers. But at the end of the day, they got nothing inside. If it's not something that they learned off of a piece of paper, then they ain't got it. They don't know about God or anything about the world of the spirit or the soul. They have no clue. They're not allowed to know. All they know is at the top of it all is the CCP. The CCP is the greatest thing in the universe. It's the thing that's created Jupiter and Saturn and Mars. This is their system. Sorry. That's the reality. So that's why I can't get down with that, because that's a bullshit life. I'm sorry. Having some Chinese guys telling me what's real and what isn't, telling me what I can be, whether I can have faith or not. Nah, Chinese guys, you can keep that. You can keep that. I'm not hating on you. I get that you guys like that kind of life. You guys like a life devoid of religion and God. You like that. Fine. Have that. But keep it away from me and keep it away from everybody I know, because the only thing that comes from that willful blindness is wickedness, is failure. You cannot go through this world with all that we know, believing that a CCP, a government organization, is your God of your universe. I mean, I don't care how many engineers they have to be really stupid to believe that a man made government organization has any kind of godlike power on this planet. It's got nothing. It's nothing. It's a document. It's some crap people think they believe, but no, they don't. Give me a break. But what we're dealing with in China are people who really believe this stuff. They really do believe the CCP is above all creation in the universe. This is where these people are. Sorry. And so for the people like Tucker Carlson, this is going to be rough when we go kinetic with these guys, because once you peel away all of the, I don't know, all the glitz, the gold, the glamour, and you get down to it, what you get is a society in China that's 100% godless. It's against the law to even have God. The CCP is their God. Sorry, they're going to lose against us. You can't, you cannot be, you cannot have a system where you believe that a man-made government system, it has universal type level power and you're going to succeed. You're not. You're not. You may have some success, some, but it ain't going to be long lived, because that's just not reality. It goes against all human experience since the beginning of humans keeping record of things. And no, I don't believe the Chinese are some new human race that have come up with some new idea that no one's ever seen before. Communism is just an idea, bro. Fine. But what's really funny is this, and this is what I've always looked at when it comes to China. China is in the position they're in today, so powerful because of the United States. There's a President Nixon went down there with his ping pong diplomacy, and he opened up our money, our economy to them. And we have given them over the years, over the decades, so many advantages that they as a nation would never give another country. See, if China were the top nation on earth, they wouldn't be able to make another version of China in another country. They couldn't do it. That's why they're not allowed to lead. Because if you lead, you have to be able to create other entities like you. So the United States leading the world created an entity like China, like Japan. You can see. But if you take China, they're not, if they run the world right now, you will not see another superpower come up out of nowhere. It ain't happening, because they can't allow that. See, reason why I side with America so much is because we don't have to be the rulers of everything. We just have to be the rulers of our shit, of what we do. That's all we care about. That's all we care about. What we do, our land. That's what we're on. That's what we're about. That's what we're about. And I'm cool with that, because it's pretty straight up. It's pretty simple. For those who have problems with America and Americans, it's because they have a problem with us here in our land, how we live our lives, how we do what we do, how we believe in God, how we let anyone believe in God, how we put God above government. Chinese hate that. And so they're fighting that. So when we see this hybrid warfare, it's not just them trying to defeat us on a battlefield. It's them trying to change the way the world operates to a point where there is no God, that God is the CCP. That's the goal. Now that's ridiculous, but that's what they're trying to do, and that's the battle we're in. So anyone who's against America right now, just understand you are for the CCP being your God because that's their goal for the whole world. That's what they do. This is who they are. I'm not hating on them. Some people want this. Some people believe that the CCP is worthy of godhood. Fine. You guys can have that. I disagree. I wholeheartedly disagree. I believe the Chinese people are greater than the CCP. I do. I believe you can take one person in China, one, and that person is more valuable than the entire CCP. In my opinion, I believe the CCP is a detriment to the earth. That's my take. And so now we're going head to head. This will be kinetic. Maybe it's going to be over Taiwan. I don't know. But when it happens, the Americans over here are going to have to pick a side. And it's going to be interesting to see those who pick China, those who pick the CCP to be their god. Be interesting to see. Not for me. So as this rolls on, from the off-ramp perspective, guys, we are going to see some chaos here because the way China rolls, they're mad. They're going to try to spark off some terrorist attacks here in the United States. They're going to use their media assets like Tucker Carlson and his crew to push out so much propaganda you won't even believe it. They're going to throw everything they have against the wall. So we are going to see a peak amount of chaos here on the disinformation side, leading into some type of kinetic thing going on here, more than likely. So that's where we're headed, guys. I don't know where this goes from there, but I will keep you guys posted. Thank you for joining me. And hey, thanks again for all the support. Thank you for every like and every share is gold. So thank you again. I'll be back on, guys. Have a great day. Take care.
Now I'ma put it down like that. I'm leaving, I ain't coming back. You don't like the way I act anyway. You really don't have to react. Don't try to change my mind, in fact. Honey, I've already packed all my stuff. We're no longer kids, let's move on. And you are not my kid, so I'm done. Please don't make me pull my gun. Sorry boy, I can't be the one. You know it, yeah, nothing lasts forever. You know that a change will make it better. You know that nothing lasts forever. You know that, yeah, a change will make it better. There's no one to blame, you see. Maybe we're not meant to be. There are plenty more fish in the sea anyway. Every day's a different thing, so I'm not into wedding rings. It ain't personal, it's the way I think. Yeah. You know it, nothing lasts forever. And you know